Education Faculty Assistant Professor Dr. Scott Douglas's research interests reside in the area of English as an additional language. I asked him what gaps his research was filling in our community.
The first area is I look at English for academic purposes. So what that means, these are English classes for students who are either in high school and they're university bound, or they're actually international students perhaps, or new immigrants who are at the university and they're looking at furthering their higher education. With these English for academic purposes courses, they're actually assessed by the teachers themselves rather than standardized testing. And sometimes there's a perception in the public that these courses are a backdoor to the university. So what I'm looking at is what does English for academic purposes mean and how it's a legitimate pathway into the university. Along with that, I also look at standardized testing. You can imagine a lot of these tests, such as the TOEFL or the IELTS or the CELPIP, they're very high stakes. If you get the scores you need on these tests, suddenly you can go to university or you can get Canadian citizenship or immigration. But if you don't get the scores, you're held back. So when the decisions are so important as that, we really need to know that these tests are valid. And so what I'm looking at is what these tests say they're doing, is that really what they're doing? Or are they measuring what they claim to measure? And so for me, it's all about vocabulary. And so I'm looking at the vocabulary students use on these tests and whether the vocabulary they use is reflected by the marks they're getting. And so I sort of put all that together. By trying to gather evidence like this from vocabulary, then we can know whether or not we can count on these tests.